Ever since Sins of a Solar Empire 2 was announced, I've been looking forward to its release. That's because Sins of a Solar Empire Rebellion was one of my favorite games to play. So that makes me naturally wonder what they carried over and improved upon, what they added, and what they deleted from the game. So that naturally leads me into wanting to make a video about it. So here it is. I'm going to start with Sins of a Solar Empire Rebellion game setup, single player. So at the start you get your choice of maps. You've got small maps for a maximum of 2 players, medium maps for a maximum of 4 players, and large maps for a maximum of 8 players. There's also a map designer, and there's also a Galaxy Forge. Don't remember exactly what that was for. You'll notice there's a ton of maps for each map size. You've got game options you can set, anywhere from unlock teams to a quick start to AI surrender on or off, random events. So quite a few options to set here. You can also set your victory options. There's 6 total. When you're happy with that, click play. You'll arrive at a second screen where you can select the faction you want to play or let the game select it for you. You can choose a Tech Loyalist, Tech Rebel, Advent Loyalist, Advent Rebel, or a Visari Loyalist or Visari Rebel. After you select your faction, you can choose the faction you want to play against. Same options again. You can decide on what kind of AI opponent you want, a normal random, normal aggressor, or fortifier, researcher. You can also select the difficulty level, hard, unfair, cruel, vicious, or easy. After that you click start and the game begins. When you start a single player game in Sins 2, you'll start at the map screen. This game has 4 map sizes instead of 3. It's got small for 2 players, medium for 3 to 5 players, large for 6 to 8 players, and huge for 9 to 10 players. You can scroll through here and see what the max number of players is for each map. Off to the right in the right panel, it gives you a brief description of the map and a breakdown of what's going on, like number of stars, number of planets, plus a little pictorial that applies to the map. Also, they'll give you the best win. If you played it before, tell you what your score was. When you're happy with your settings, you can go to Setup Game. At the game lobby screen, you can do things like set the number of teams if you want to, or leave it none. You can let the game assign your faction for you or choose the faction you want to play. You can play the TEC Enclave, TEC Primary, Advent Reborn, Advent Wrath, Visari Exodus, Visari Alliance. Same basic factions that you had in Sins of a Solar Empire Rebellion. You can also let the game choose the opponents for you or choose the ones you want to play against. You can set AI difficulty anywhere from easy to nightmare and impossible. You can set the type of AI it is, defensive, random, or aggressive. And those are the settings for the AI. You can also do some game settings here. Orbiting planets, yes or no. That's a new feature to Sins 2. Home planet victory, yes or no. Colonization victory. And you can set some of the speeds like income rates and ship speed. If you want to go backwards, you need to right click. Sins 2 has less setup features than Rebellion does. I imagine a DLC will take care of that in the future. Anyway, once you're done with your settings, you can start the game by clicking Start Game, obviously. I'd like to take a look at the user interfaces for both games first, just a brief overview. This is the bounty on an empire. You can increase the bounty on them if you want to by clicking here. This represents the black market. You can buy and sell personal metal here. At the top of the screen, you've got an in-game menu bar to show you things like how much crystal you've got, metal, credits, fleet supply, how many capital ship crews you have available. This lets you access the underground where you can get a hold of the pirates or the black market. Research, relationships, diplomacy. On the upper left corner, this is a display of your ships or your fleets, Depending on what's selected is what you'll see down here in the bottom. So if I've got a planet selected, this will be the display. If I select a ship, this will be what's displayed. So one thing that's nice about this game is the zoom feature. You can use the mouse wheel to zoom in and out, and it zooms to wherever the cursor is located. So if I want to zoom in on the star, I can do that. Zoom back out, or a planet. The user interface for Sins 2 is pretty similar. Up here you get a display of whatever planet you have selected. You change it by starting to zoom into it. And the cursor, the zoom in option, works the same way in Sins 2 as it does in the Rebellion. It'll zoom wherever your cursor is. Up the top, you get a breakdown of your resources, the markets, also trade, exotics. That's something new to the game. This shows you the colonized planets, military command level, minor factions, research, military and civilian. Up here you can create fleets and control them. And once again, depending on what you have selected, is what shows up down here in the bottom panel. In Rebellion, if you hover over the research icon, you get a breakdown in the bottom right hand corner of how many military labs and how many civic research stations you have. Clicking on the icon brings up the research menu. It's got 6 options: military, defense, civilian, diplomacy, fleet logistics, and artifacts. Military is broken into 3 subcategories. Defense is broken into 1, and these both count as military research. Civilian has 3 subcategories. Diplomacy has 1, and that counts as civilian research also. Fleet logistics allows you to increase the number of capital ships you can have in your fleet, or the number of ships, period. Artifacts is a place where the game stores your artifacts, not really research. And the good thing about this is you can conduct military and civilian research at the same time, if you have enough stations built. Research in Sins 2 is similar, but still different. In the top menu bar, you've got 2 icons for research, one for civilian and one for military. This number shows how many of each you've got built. You start the game with none. Click inside, and research is done in tiers now. So for the first tier, you need 1 military station or 1 civilian state research station. To go to the next tier, it's 4, then it jumps up to 8, then 15, then 25. And as you unlock these become available. When you start building a military station or civilian research station, the numbers start flashing up here indicating that it's being built. It also tells you what the final number would be when you're done with the build. This is a more advanced version of the game. As you see, I've got all 5 tiers unlocked and almost all the research done for military. This is the collapsed view. If you want to expand it out, you can. This gives you the mobilization, experimental design, armament, and engineering branches. Same is true for civilian. It's got 3 branches. There is no fleet logistics branch anymore. It's built into the military research, part of mobilization. Here's where you find it at. Planet management is another big thing in both games. When you click on the planet, you get the menu at the bottom of the screen. On the left, you get some reports. This tells you the planet health, allegiance, exploration. Clicking here, you can auto-place structures if you want to, let the game do it, or you can ping somebody to have an ally join you somewhere. This develops the planet. You can do civilian structure, emergency facilities, explore the planet. You can do a specialization if you want to. The logistics capacity can be upgraded, and so can defense. You can also build structures, metal extractors, crystal extractors, factories, broadcast center, trade port, orbital refinery, things like that. At the planet screen, you can also build ships, Titans, if you got the Titan Foundry, capital ships, frigates, cruisers. Click on this, brings up a selection list. You go back, go here. So I can build these if I want to. The tooltip on the right tells you what you're going to get. Planet management in Sins 2 starts out the same way. You select the planet. Off to the left, it tells you who you are and gives you a brief breakdown of your empire. This gives you planet bonuses and deficits. Here you can click to explore the planet. You can usually find exotics when you do that. Something new to the game is planet items. This planet has 4. If you want to build structures, you click this icon. This brings up everything you can build. Civilian over here, and that tells you how many you've got around the planet already. Military. If you want to build ships, you click the ship icon. This gives you a breakdown of all the ships you can build, provided you've got the factories to do it with. This tells you how many strike craft you have. You can launch them if you want to. Never done that, but looks cool. Down the bottom, these are all the things you can improve. Logistics, defense, so it gives you more defense slots. Commerce, more income. Mining, this is the primary way you gain resources now, by mining the planet. And research. Click on this for advanced features. Here you can set a rally point. and this you can scuttle stuff. In Rebellion, your ship's shown on the left-hand side of the screen. If you create a fleet, they'll be at the top. Selecting a fleet icon will take you to that fleet, and it selects the leader of that group. This one's a Titan. If I click here, I can increase their abilities or select new abilities when they're available through ship experience. If I want the whole fleet to move at once, I make sure this triple arrow icon is showing. If I want the ships to take off as quickly as they can, maybe one at a time, I'll right click it to turn it off. That might be if you're retreating or something like that. This shows you the number of strike craft and what they are.
Our planet is under siege.
This sets the tactics. Here you can set the engagement range, fleet cohesion. You can set, order a ship to lead the fleet, and you can create a fleet. Combat in Sins Rebellion is pretty good. You can scroll on and get the details of the battle if you want to. Lots of action, lots of missiles being fired. Titan activating his abilities. You can zoom out for an overall view, or let's say go in and get a detailed view. In Sins 2, the fleets are also on the left side of the screen. Clicking on this will select the fleet. Neat thing is, in this game, it brings up a breakdown of what's in your fleet. This one's been pretty much decimated after a battle I fought and lost. Something new to the game is you have ship items, so you can click here and add any item that's available. These are your abilities, just like in the former game. If you want to have your fleet all move at one time, right click this icon and you get a little double-headed arrow sorta, and that makes them all jump at once, just like the original game. This is your attack. Engage anywhere. You can change the engagement stance just like you can in the regular game. This stops movement. This tells you how many fighters you have in your fleet. Combat in Sins 2 is essentially the same as it is in Rebellion. Again, you can scroll in and see all the details. Get the sound effects. So scroll up and overview.
We're done for.
They're making short work of my fleet, just like they did the first time. Don't know why. Of course, now they're hopelessly outnumbered, so.
No armor. We won't last long.
In Rebellion, this is the diplomacy screen. You click that, and this is where you conduct diplomacy. So I can select them, and I can offer a mission if I want. I can offer a ceasefire for a war, peace treaty, planet vision. Depends on what the relationships are between you and the other empire. This shows what they are. This is the criminal underground and the pirates. Here at the black market, you can buy and sell metal and crystal. Here you can offer the pirates missions. This is where you put bounties on other empires. If they're still in the game. These two guys are wiped out already. In Sins 2, diplomacy is a little different. Clicking on the diplomacy icon will bring up a list of empires in the game. Click on Open Diplomatic Offer, and you can offer a ceasefire or share vision, whatever you want. You can offer credits or metal, give crystal, exotic, or you can ask for stuff. There's no real relationship anymore. It's all negotiation, give and take. In Sins 2, there's no underground element. You do have markets available, but they're not available right away. You have to discover them. I still haven't discovered the metal market, although I have the crystal market. I know where that is, so I can trade there. The pirates are now part of the minor factions, which is a new thing to this game. And these guys you use influence.
Your arguments are compelling.
Sins 2 has several new features, and I'm going to talk about some of my favorite ones. One of them is the future orbit of planets. You click this and see what the future position of the planets will be. You can click on this bar and drag back and forth and see exactly where they are at a certain point in time. As you can see, the phase lanes shift, so sometimes you might think you have a choke point when you really don't, because it'll shift and then you get other phase lanes coming to it or out of it. Planets now have planet items for economy, defense, and support. The capital ships have items now. The easiest way to check on this is to click on the military command icon. This brings up all your capital ships, and you can add the items that way by clicking on the up arrow and selecting something. Utility, defense, and offense. Another addition to Sins 2 is derelict loot. After you wipe out all the defenders, you can capture this. And the way to capture it is to move a capital ship within the radius of the derelict loot, which is that red outline. So once the defenders are wiped out, a countdown begins. Right now I've got 100 seconds left. And once the time is up, you'll capture whatever it is it has. And this little tooltip here, or icon, will tell you what you got, which is resources and exotics. Pretty good. So that's my comparison of Rebellion to Sins 2. I think Sins 2 is an excellent game. It builds on the stuff that made the original Sons of Solar Empire Rebellion popular. That made it great, and improves on them. Plus it adds some new features, which is only going to make the game better. So I'll probably dump a lot of time in this in the future. I really like it. This was actually my go-to game before Stellaris came out. Now if this is out, it'll probably be a balancing act between the two. So anyway, this is Rich from Lord of Strategy Games. I will talk to you later. Bye.